Hello, good evening, and good Halloween! Tonight, instead of my usual Sunday game, that is currently Solasta, I will be playing for a Halloween special, a game called Death and Taxes, which is... I will be generous and I'll call it an RPG, in a way. But yes, you know, Death and Taxes seemed appropriate for Halloween. So let's get into it. Brand new game. I've played the demo of this, but I've not played the full game. And the time I played the demo was quite some time ago. I don't want to skip the intro, so... Fate, Keeper of World Order. We're lacking an ingredient. Sigh. Beatles cover. Just having a nice time at the supermarket. Excuse me? What? I don't understand. What was the tapping on the shoulder? What happened? There was just fire, and then he left the supermarket with his lemons. Scully boy! Oh, the Grim Reaper, me. Oh. Personalization, I see. You know what? Invisible head. Invisible head for me. You know what? I think the black with the red tie. Yeah, I'm liking that. Yeah, let's go with that. Begin the bureaucratic afterlife. Very distinguished, yes. If only I could spell. Alright, let's begin. It is.
Finally, the new spawn has awoken.
Yay?
What a momentous day. I am honored to welcome you into our world. Spawn. Hang on. Spawn number 50.
There's been a lot of employee turnover, I hear.
I am Fate. I am the keeper of world order.
Oh, it's options. Okay, I can ask, where am I? What is this? What am I? Hello, a pleasure to meet you, Fate. I don't much care for being just 50. Can I be Fate? You know what? Where am I? What is this?
Straight to the point. Great. You are in my office. Here to work as a Grim Reaper.
Insincerity.
Welcome to your new job as an overseer of Cosmopolis City Subdivision 4, the Sun County Wine Region.
Sounds apropos, considering I am Foxwine.
I know what you are thinking, and yes, your assignment is choosing humans who have to die. pretty standard stuff.
Standard, yes.
As it is your first day, try to get to know the system. And do not destroy the world, yes? Gallows humor, you see? Right, yes. Clear?
Wait, I have to kill people? I am not ready for this. Okay, whatever you say, boss. Or will I get paid for this? Maybe. I mean, there does appear to already be a cat here, so... Will I get paid?
Most certainly. The contract stipulates that every death gets a fair salary based on their performance accuracy.
Well, that's nice. I wonder what I'll spend it on. Cats deciding the fate of the world? Sounds about right.
Marking profiles correctly is the most important task. If you mark more or less than necessary, you will not get your fee at all.
Okay, so I have to be careful about my numbers. Good to know.
Errors in secondary tasks will reduce the total even if the primary task is executed correctly.
Alright.
Remember, the fate of the world lies in your hands. Humans march towards the great dying. They always teeter on the precipice.
Well, you see,
endless chaos.
The world is like a giant box. The box may contain things to bat around, but all in all, cats like to sit in it.
We keep humans from falling off. We establish the equilibrium and keep the chaos in check. For that reason, your actions will have consequences.
That is one of the major draws of the game. Alright, where do I work? I was born to do this. That's very literal. Why me? Or whatever, let's get this over with. You know what? Why me?
Because someone has to. Come along. I will now show you your workplace. One more thing. This will be your 7-day evaluation period. When the week is done, you will be assessed.
You know, the emphasis on that word does not fill me with confidence.
1 week to show us what you are made of, Reaper.
I'm not actually certain that Reaper is the correct term. I'm choosing who, but I'm not actually doing it myself. Okay, so here we have the desk. And what is this? Cerberus's Den. Feed your soul, open on weekends. I can move it around, but I can't. I wonder if there are other Grims there. Huh. Okay. And I have... Yeah, I know that's important later. Okay, hello Grim. Welcome, Grim. Here are the files on humans who are in life-threatening situations within your domain. I am granting you time to settle in, so no difficult rules or requests as of today. Quota for the day, 1 human has to die. Send me the files by fax after you have made your decision. Good luck on the first day. Fate. And this is the marker of death. Better pick it up and start marking some files. Well, let's just put that over there for now. I have a phone at least, good for procrastinating and scrolling through Cocker. I wonder if I'm making a difference. Well, the phone is not being turned on yet, so what's inside? It's empty. What about this one? What's inside? Empty. Okay, so... And then we have 2 files. And I need to move the marker. Okay, first one here is Raven Kershid. Blech. Age 29, position professional athlete. Raven is enjoying a moderately successful career as a deadlifter. They have a brother, Ronald, and a child, Mira. In their spare time, they like going hiking and camping. Mira is constantly inspired by Raven's determination and wishes to continue in their footsteps. Okay, that's Raven. And the other one is Philip Harms, age 20, position student. Philip is a very random guy, meaning they enjoy chaotic and odd behavior. For example, they love playing pranks pranks on their friends and conducting occult rituals. They also have a personal catchphrase of "stay out of harm's way," and they are fond of animal skulls. Okay, so I choose one of these to live and one of them to die using the marker. You know what? I'm just Chaos Guy. Chaos Guy, you are... Confirm. Okay, that means this is live. And then we put down the marker and... Okay, how do I... Okay, yes. Confirm the choices. Fax those. Oh, this was not in the demo. Now I'm lost. The Grim Office. Personal Quarters. Hello, Friend Zone! Thank you very much for the lurk, and happy Halloween to you too. Some sort of elevator. Some we'll call them gargoyles. Well, let's go to the office, I guess. Can I? Oh. I don't want to go up. Why am I going up? Oh, I see. I see.
Oh, the new death spawn. Welcome. How was your first day?
Really good. Okay, I guess. Bad, a person died. Or I hate following orders. Okay, I guess?
Good, good. I understand it may take time to get acclimated. Everyone goes through that phase. Remember, lives are on the line.
Yeah, I'm fully going to admit that I chose the prankster just because of the grammar mistake in his profile. So, yeah.
I see exactly one person perished today, as tasked. Did you figure out the best choice?
Nobody deserves to die. The best, there were only 2 options. I did, or no, I didn't. There were only 2 options, man.
Indeed. I am glad you are paying attention. In the future, I may require you to make more difficult choices.
Huh.
Such is the unfortunate, indisputable, incontrovertible, ironclad law of cosmos. Question.
I still don't understand what exactly I'm supposed to do, or nope, I'm ready for anything. I don't want him to explain again, so I guess nope, I'm ready for anything.
Keep your
Hit
eye
me,
on
man.
the letter for future guidelines, and keep up the good work.
All right.
A new day awaits. You go now.
Thanks. You gonna pat me on the head too? I've been paid. Okay, so... Oh, I see. Okay, if they're colored in, there's something for me to do there. What's this? Quartermaster Mortimer's Plunder Emporium. Why not?
What ho, customer! Welcome to Quartermaster Mortimer's Plunder Emporium. As ye may guess, I am Mortimer. The Mortimer. The one you may have heard of. The famous, nay, infamous Quartermaster.
Indeed. How are you holding your hair on? Is it with the bandana? Never heard of you before. What makes you infamous? The Mortimer? An honor to meet such a legend. What makes you infamous?
Why, I was the very pirate king of lore, feared across the world. Even as I have grown most humble with age, I still carry within me glory days.
Humble. I see. Cool? Sure, okay. Can I buy stuff here? Can I buy stuff?
Aye. Ye are visiting me ultimate dream, the Emporium. Browse at your will.
Grim Cape clothing, which is 400 more than I have. This dark cape is a classic attire for any grim deeds. It's pleasantly warm while offering protection against wind and rain, which you won't actually need as you'll always be stuck at the office. A looking glass, gazing ultimately deep into the abyssal depths of the underworld. It reflects everything, well, mostly just you. A photic reflector. A tenebrous curiosity. It spins and whirs, it clicks and clacks, very soothing and helpful in times of stress. More to you, less to others. Yeah, three whole things. And I can only afford one. You know what? Nice talking to you, man. I'm going back to the elevator. Bye. Okay, so this is probably the bar, which I'm not allowed to go to until the weekend of whatever. There are angels in there. Okay, so up to quarters, I guess. End the day. Dressing room. I need a mirror for this. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to buy the mirror for. I see. What, do I go up? No, I don't go up. I guess I go down? Yeah, I guess I go down. To the office. Oh my, my phone is vibrating. Science today. Black magic is a danger to the youth. Okay. What is that noise? Is my money wailing? That's fun. That is actually quite fun. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but yeah, there we go. What happens if I manage to get all of them to flip to heads up? Nothing, they just are. Okay. Instructions for the day. Morning, Grim. I hope you found your accommodations adequate. Here are the rules of the day. Follow them and you'll be okay. I am handing you another simple task. Quota for the day. 1 human with an engineering or industrial background has to die. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna put this in the drawer. I'm gonna leave the money out because it's interesting how it keeps doing that breathing thing. We'll just shift it over here, I think. There we go. Alright. We have Jorman Mepperson, age 52, position lecturer. Jorman gives philosophy lectures at the local university and writes self-help books as a hobby. They mix vague political and philosophical content into their lectures, although they lack any knowledge or education in either of those areas. Somehow, they haven't been fired. Alright, that is a person who does not have an engineering or industrial background. We have Sificio Eke, age 44, position general contractor. Sificio constructs buildings, not much else to it. They try their best to manage balance between the demands of the clients and the experimental ideas of architects. In their spare time, they like carving small sculptures. That's maybe? And we have Mark F. Plyer. Age 31, position engineer, aspiring film director. Mark originates from the island of Aria, but moved to Cosmopolis City at a young age. They studied engineering at the Polytechnical Institute, then started a side career as a MeTuber, mostly videos about engineering, where they've gained a considerable following. Mainly, they aspire towards becoming a film director. Okay, so the letter called for engineering or industrial. He is definitely neither. He gets to live. Right. So we know he's living. Oh. Open that back up again. Put that one down. We've made our choice on that one. So engineering or industrial. Either one of these two count. Because Sifso here constructs buildings, which is industrial. And Mark here is an engineer. I don't know. I think it's actually going to have to be Mark here, because it's more clear, I guess, that he's in engineering. I am so sorry, Mark. And yeah. Okay, and yeah, off everything goes. And up? Yeah. Okay, I'm noticing that there will be a pattern to my days.
Grim, how was the second day on the job?
Great! Good! Meh. Bad. Really bad. Well, I killed a streamer today. Good?
Good. So, did you follow the rules properly?
I did. Almost. Maybe. I don't really know. Or, nope, not at all. I did. I did follow the rules.
Great. Yes, everything looks to be in order. Continue the good work, and do not let tough choices get you down.
Sounds great. I still don't know what I'm doing. I hope I get to kill more people. Or can I get a vacation? I'm still in the trial period. I'm not gonna ask for a vacation. Sounds great. Sounds great.
Great indeed. We could use more spawns with your attitude.
Thank goodness you can't tell what I'm saying.
Rest well. You will need it. See you soon.
Oh, Cat has something to say too, apparently. Thank you. I've been purred at. I'm being purred at. I'm sure that must be a good thing. Okay, so let's go down and buy a mirror if it's still there. Oh, hey, there's a library down there. Let me in the library. Let me in. Oh, it won't let me
Jolly
in the
Roger.
library.
Again ye honor me, tiny abode, with your visit.
Oh, no mirror this time. The face of the great old one, clothing. Whoa, a seriously terror-inducing visage. But then again, who wouldn't want to look like an Antivolusian monstrosity? Besides, tentacles are extremely useful and practical. I don't think that would look very good with my invisible head. I'm just gonna... An ethereal resonator. This resonator collates accelerated electromagnetic waves of various frequencies generated by the artificial vibration of eternal recurrence, which travel through the aether and then blast them at you. And cactus, the most brutal of plants. I can't afford a cactus. Its name is Cactus, though. Nope, I guess I'm leaving empty-handed again. I should have gotten the mirror while it was here, I guess. Well, back to the elevator. Why will you not let me in the library? Let me in the library! Darn you. You won't let me in the bar either, will you? Nope. Y'all are testing me. You're testing me. End the day. Yes, I do need a mirror for the dressing room, but it's gone. Can I talk to Fate? No. I could go shopping before starting the day. Did anything change?
Prepare for a perilous
Oh, it
adventure
did.
on the ocean of quality merchandising.
Alright, Eye of Ampu, clothing. Ampu, god of the dead, mummification, embalming, the afterlife, cemeteries and tombs, and the protector of the underworld. This hound really gets around and grants you a stunningly canine visage. Tempting. Would be nearly all of my money, but tempting. Threnody to desolation. Peculiar flecks twirl disquietingly inside this glass globe, never settling. In the middle of the storms, and figures too difficult to discern. Everything seems to be in a state of constant transfiguration. Can't afford that one. And an infernal illuminator. The infernal illuminator reveals that which is most deeply hidden once you've already made the choices and are passing through again. Else it can't show much anything, besides because that's how things work, okay? Yeah, fine. A Canine Visage sounds alright, but nah. Back to the office. What do we have here? Jorman Mep. The key to living your best life is remembering to flush the toilet. Culture Mag, the Dragonhead Gallery, to host an exhibition of intricate wooden sculptures. I wonder if I'm making a difference. I don't know, like how... In the demo there was more stuff to look at on the phone, I swear. And the new money is breathing too. Okay, okay, money is going in the drawer. Money in the drawer. Money, yeah, there we go. Morning, Grim. A new day dawns. You ought to know the drill by now, but just in case, here's another simple one. No special requests today. Try to follow the rules and choose the appropriate profiles, then send them to me by fax. Quota for the day: 2 humans have to die. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 profiles this time. Alright. We have Columbia Hunter, age 47, who is an airplane pilot. Columba is a distinguished war veteran, these days working as a well-regarded passenger airplane pilot. They're happily married and have 5 children. As a hobby, Columba is extremely interested in the history of religious buildings. Okay. We'll just put that down. Leo Borjanskij. Leo, age 67, position politician. Leo has been in politics for over 40 years, and in that time they've worked hard on relaxing the government's meddling in the real estate market. Although nobody has found proper proof, there have been rumors that Leo has taken many bribes from a number of realtor agencies. Okay, we'll put him down. Let's just put the marker over here where it's nice and out of the way. Alright, Emiko Iwaka, age 79, position retired. Emiko worked hard their whole life, but when retirement knocked, they switched to full fun and games mode. These days, they spend some time taking care of their garden, but most of their time playing team-based online multiplayer shooters. Hey! Okay, we'll put her there. Conrad Ulmer, age 30, position manicurist. Got some facial hair going there, apparently. Conrad is obsessed with building the ultimate gel nails. Their designs keep getting wilder and more impractical every day, but customers keep coming, thirsty for the most fashionable, weaponizable nails. Alright, we'll just put them there. And our final possible candidate, Henry Cavalier, age 44, position cleric. Henry is a devoted member of their church with a weakness for pastry and crime novels. Ever since reading a book about crafty monks at a secluded monastery, they have dreamt of saving their family using fancy deductive abilities. Little do they know, the exact opportunity will soon present itself. Okay. So this one actually has something plotted for him. So I think maybe I should let him live. I'm very tempted to remove the probably taking bribes kind of corrupt politician here. That is a temptation on my part. I I'm amused by the whole fashionable / weaponizable nails, so I'm just gonna put them in this pile. But then we have the retiree who plays online multiplayer shooters, and the war veteran airplane pilot left. Well, I've kind of made up my mind about this guy, so let's mark him. Oh, no, I don't... Stop clicking on all the things. Okay. We're putting that down. This guy gets to live. Okay, fine. Don't ask me anymore. And this guy gets to live. And how to decide between the pilot and the retired person. You know what, let's go for the retiree, I think. Okay. 2 humans to die and 3 are living, and I've marked everybody, right? Yes, okay. Off it goes! Okay, then up. Pay me?
Grim, my latest spawn. 3 days you have been with us. How do you feel?
Awesome, balancing the world, getting things done. Fine, more or less. It's still a bit confusing. Or, I feel hungry all the time. How is that even possible? Hungry?
Probably some of the psychic residue left over from the creation. Making a death is not simplistic alchemy.
I don't know, it seemed pretty straightforward ingredients to me.
Now, let me take a look at the files you sent in today. Right. Everything looks to be in order. You have followed the rules and marked the correct amount of profiles.
Hurrah!
There really is not much else to say. You may leave. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess. That's another 300. Has anything changed in the store? Is it one of those things that it changes every time you go in? It is not. It is a day change. Okay. Good to know. End of the day. Yes, I need a mirror for my dressing room. I'm gonna check the store after work. Okay. What is the phone? Crow News. All survived in a plane crash due to skillful efforts of pilot. Hey! I did that! Crow News. Local politician dead after being struck by a car. Police have not yet ruled out a deliberate hit. The Daily Moon. Cleric solves murder, catches serial killer in a hot air balloon. Oh, I'm so glad I spared him! Crow News. Casualty rate of club fights increases. Experts blame sharp gel nails. Oops. I say oops, but I don't actually regret very much. Okay, let's put the money where it won't breathe directly at me. Alright. Grim, have you looked outside today? It rains. It has been raining for hours. Appropriate to accompany the despondence within me. Well, here are some rules for you. Quota for the day. 3 humans have to die. Another day, another death. Fate. 3. Okay, let's start with the top one here. Raphael Santander, age 46, position private detective. Raphael always had a problem with authority, which is why they got fired from their previous police job for insubordination. They prefer to work alone anyway. They started an investigation firm hoping to catch dangerous criminals, but mostly get hired to follow cheating spouses and take incriminating photos. Yeah, from what I hear, that is depressingly common for private detectives. The kind that you get in novels just aren't the ones you get in real life. In real life, it's mostly getting dirt for the divorce. Alright, Jacques Montagne. Age 31, position long-distance cyclist. Long-distance biking. Yep, that's actually pretty much it. I'm asking Cadaver Resources to put me into a different department. Writing these drives me insane. If anything is reading this, sign my petition at the water cooler next to desk 5. I'm so sorry, Jacques. Anderson Weller, age 46, position economic consultant. Anderson has saved countless of businesses from going completely bankrupt, yet the only business they can't seem to save at all, for some unfathomable reason, is their spouse's DVD-CD rental shop. It just steers into failure all the time. Okay. Pauline Sheep, age 51, position unemployed. Pauline just quit their high-paying job after saving up a lot of money. Their goal was to get a large enough sum so that they wouldn't have to work for several years. It's generally a nice enough plan, the main drawback being that to pull it off you have to have a very high-paying job to begin with. That's not very helpful, actually, I'm gonna have to admit. Alright, and Julia Ismailia, age 20, position student. From a young age, Julia has dreamt of conquering the world in order to make it a better place for animals. Alas, so far they have only reached basic level animal rights activism. They also enjoy reading horoscopes to people in queues. Should I remove her from the picture before she joins PETA? Okay, so 5 profiles, so 2 get to live and the others die. So it would probably be easiest to figure out, well, who gets to keep going. I think the economic consultant here, he's saved countless businesses, which means that if he lives, he can continue to save more businesses, except for his spouses, of course. So let's tentatively put him over here in a live column. But, I just don't know about the others. We have long-distance cyclist and I give up on life and my job. We have, wants to rule the world as an animal activist. We have problem with authority and mostly taking dirty pictures through motel windows. And had a high-paying job, actual job unknown, question mark, that has allowed them to temporarily retire for a couple of years. know what? I'm going to save the private detective. So these three. Okay, put those down. Okay, and then whoops. Whoa, that I didn't mean to do that. I didn't know I could do that. Okay, that's 2 lives and 3 dies and 1 accidental scrape across the private detective. Whoopsie. So... Alright, send that off. Deus Ex Factiona. Alright, and then upstairs... Oh, it goes so much faster if you just hold it down. Off to the office.
Grim, there you are. Let us be quick. All the
Okay.
profiles are here, just as requested. Excellent work.
Thank you.
Although you made an error with my test note, such inattention is not commendable.
Wait, I what?
I do not fully understand what you are planning to do with these small and trivial acts of rebellion. You are mainly just making it more difficult.
What did I do? Is this about the accidental drawing on the thing? What did I do?
Anyway, I am quite busy tonight, so you can go. Until tomorrow, Grim.
What did I miss? Is it because I accidentally drew on the one profile? Is that the problem?
What ho? How can me humble and not at all adventurous self assist you today?
I have no idea. What have you got? Grim Cape clothing. This dark cape is a classic attire for any grim deeds. It's pleasantly warm while offering protection against wind and rain, which you won't actually need as you'll always be stuck at the office. An ethereal resonator, that's the radio again. Yeah, and it's exactly the same text, so, and a Lethian Obliviator. The Lethian Obliviator is used to remove grievous mistakes, meaning it erases whatever mark you made on a profile. One use only. You know what? I will buy it just in case I need it.
Avast! This tale is beyond reproach. We were sailing the high seas when we found a shipwreck, full of these off the coast of the wild wakes.
What?
It has power to erase even the most dreadful of mistakes. Used it to erase one of my risky love letters. And you know what? Never heard from the love interest again. Amazing little thing.
All right then. Thank you. I'm going to go now before it gets weirder. Bye. Farewell. Wait a minute. Oh, it's a delivery box on my desk. Can I do anything about it? No, I cannot. I guess end the day. Yes, I know I need a mirror for my dressing room. Thank you for reminding me over and over again. Alright, I've got the eraser now as a just in case. I'm going to tuck it in the drawer so that I don't use it by accident. Crow News. Consultant driven to a mental breakdown after not being able to save a local DVD-CD rental shop. Did I mark somebody incorrectly? Oh no. Daily Moon. Unidentified man found dead in nearby forest. Police suspect murder. Crow News. Low-cost dorms under investigation as student dies of hypothermia. Crow News. Private Eye accidentally catches an illegal arms deal in the act while trailing adulterous spouse. Hey! I'm kind of responsible for that. I guess I accidentally marked somebody to die who I meant to mark to live? Ooh. Morning, Grim. It is but a mundane day, nothing out of the ordinary going on anywhere. A regular day in the usual district of the typical planet. Who longs for some excitement? Quota for the day. 2 humans have to die. Spare any humans with a food service background. I hope you are enjoying the routine. Fate. But yeah, I meant for that economist to live, so I must have accidentally marked him to die and just didn't clue in. I feel bad now. Well, that's what I got yelled at for, definitely. We have a lot of profiles here. Okay, let's start with Ewo Sorensen, age 39, position bartender. Ewo wishes to become the greatest bartender in the world. They constantly perform to their regulars, juggling bottles and setting various liquids on fire. They have yet to finish one performance without something breaking, but the dream is strong. Any humans with a food service background. That's food service. So that is someone who gets spared right off the bat. Okay, we have Raizen Sharenga, age 27, position live streamer. Raizen does daily live streams where they play some games, cook some food, draw, and just have a pleasant talk with their viewers. They have a rather large and rapidly growing following. They've also started including environmentally conscious messages to their channel. That's very nice of them. It's also, they do cook food, so it's tangentially related, so I'm going to put her, like, here? Alright, Manuel Castellan, age 54, position doctor. After decades of working as a doctor, Manuel ultimately just got really tired of it. Nowadays, they're experimenting with dead bodies, trying to sew them together in order to create some sort of a new life form that could potentially live forever. Okay. That's definitely not food service, so we'll put him down here. Masego Okiro Oya, age 33, position executive chef. Masego has always loved the challenge of resolving problems efficiently, the joy of creative cooking, and generally being the one in charge. Sometimes gruff and severe, but they do care about providing an elegant cuisine experience. They're hoping to expand their horizons. Okay, he's definitely food, so into that pile he goes. Connor C. Noland, age 43, position film director. Connor is an avid fan of found footage horror, which inspired them into directing films of their own. They recently released a series of educational videos using the found footage aesthetic titled How Not to Get Stabbed, The Fundamentals of Knife Battles. Interesting, but not food, so next to the doctor you go. And Miyu Terakawa, age 21, position broiler cook. You either grill or you broil. Those are the only 2 options for cooking food. Some people say there are other ways, but Miyu disagrees. But Miyu often disagrees about many things. It's in their antagonistic nature. They love board games, but for some reason most people don't want to play with them. That's food, that's up here, and we've sorted them. Everyone up at the top here gets to live, and these 2 down here have to die. Alright. That was easy, but also I feel bad. Okay. that's those two. And then everyone up here. And make sure that we are doing this right. That's live. That's live. That is live. And that is live. Okay. Off they go. That was remarkably easy on me, so there's got to be another shoe.
What a day, Grim. What a day. Let us go over your conduct first.
What have I done now?
Good. I see the correct amount of profiles. Today seems to be in order. Anyway, Grim, 5 days you have been.
Okay.
How does it feel to make the difficult choices?
It doesn't actually feel all that good, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like it at first, but I've grown to enjoy it. Meh, a job like any other. Honestly, I feel like I'm not killing enough people. I crave more. I still feel awful about every choice. Every moment is a living hell. I hate this job. It's a job.
Is it, though? I can almost imagine what a normal, basic, dreadful, everyday job would feel like.
This is an everyday job. I do my thing, I go to work, I do my thing, I go do a little shopping, I go home. It's a very ordinary job.
But think of the humans. Do you think our office is the appropriate way to deal with them?
Absolutely. I'm not sure. Not really. Is there another way? I'm not sure.
Ah, the question is too difficult. After all, you have not even lived a week. You have not seen what the tradition has wrought.
True.
This control over all the lives, unbeknownst to the humans. Do you not consider it unethical to make the choices you make?
But you hand out the rules and make me do the choices. Can't worry too much if this is what has to be done. I'm not happy about this situation, no. But you hand out the rules.
True enough. One must be in charge. The others are there to follow.
Yep.
The office is perennial and venerated. Eons we have spent designing the appropriate methods and strategies. We know what we are doing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I do apologize for taking up so much of your time.
What else do I have
Before
to
you
do? I
go,
apparently have no
Are
hobbies.
there any questions you would like to ask me?
Why haven't I seen any underage profiles? What's the basis for the profiles? Is there a points system? Why do all the profiles refer to people as they? Or not really? You know what? Why haven't I seen any children?
Ah, the children. They are a special case, for a different set of departments to deal with. You will not find any yourself.
That is something of a relief to me, I must admit. Are there many offices or departments? Or okay, good to know. Are there many of them?
Countless.
And they all have Reapers working in them? Or how many Reapers are there out there? And they all have Reapers?
Myriad.
Really? Or wow? Wow!
Exactly. Anything
This
else?
seems very inane. What about animals? Do they get a department? What's the basis for the profiles? Is there a point system? Why do all the what about animals?
Absolutely. All living beings have to be processed after the end. No escape. Even plants. Yes, there is a department for plants. Do not ask about the plant department.
I want to, though.
Anything else?
What about the unliving? Things, buildings, stuff? You know what? What's the basis for the profiles?
Oh, not at all.
Don't they all influence the world in many ways? The humans can't actually affect anything? You don't sound too sure about that. Or, okay then. Don't they all influence the world?
In all and in none, yes.
Is it predetermined? What about free will? Or, I'm so confused. Is it predetermined?
Humans have some free will, sure. They can make a variety of choices. Yet what matters is that they cannot escape the inevitable.
I think I'm uncomfortable.
The life-threatening situations that bring them onto your desk, a result of their own deeds and decisions.
Okay.
Then there are some highly complex calculations, factors and aspects that influence the situation. But that is just a bit over your pay grade, so do not worry about it.
Oh, I'm gonna worry about it. I'll just keep it to myself, thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, what about the unliving?
Technically, kind of, I guess. Ruins are like a type of dead, but then again they feel so alive. I must ponder. This topic is a bit too abstract for now. Let us table it.
Oh boy.
Anything else?
I'm not going to ask why it refers to everybody as they, because I'm pretty sure that just seems like the best way to go about it, honestly. So, not really.
Right. It has been enlightening. I bid you a good night. See you tomorrow.
Yar. Okay, let's, let me in the library.
Have ye seen such deals before? 'Tis ye who plunders me.
Somehow I doubt that. Okay, we have a Grim Cape again. We have the Trinity Desolation again. And Boo the Gerbil. A perfectly regular-sized toy gerbil made out of rubber. No, none of these call to me. None of these speak to me. Can I go to the bar? No. Can I? No. Alright, fine. Personal quarters it is. Haha, I managed to not have the cursor on where the mirror's supposed to be again this time. Alright, to the office. Let's put the pile of money with the other piles of money. Okay. Crow News. Local bar explodes after bartender mistakes bottle of nitroglycerin for vodka. Drops it. Teledata. Master Chef to start a new competitive cooking show titled The Exquisite Eats. Foodies. Broiling craze overwhelms the nation. Everything's getting broiled. Crow News. Amateur film director stabbed in a knife fight. Crow News. Corpse-stealing doctor found dead, neck snapped. Truth Exploder. It's alive! A monstrosity seen lurking around the back alleys of Cosmopolis City. Green Thumb. Popular streamer launches eco-friendly campaign. Many people, small changes. And we can already see the results. Truth Exploder. The living corpse is real and here to eat your children. Local scoop. The world's oldest person still around and kicking. Okay. Instructions. Morning, Grim. We seem to be on the precipice of dark times. I may have warned you that this job can have some harsh moments. Today is that day. Quota for the day. A total of 6 humans have to die. Any humans with a law background have to die. Any humans with a criminal background have to die. This is very serious. Fate. Okay, so law and criminal. We'll put the marker here for now. Alright, Benoit Krakow. Age 55, position online casino operator. Benoit built a website to lure people who like to gamble, but don't want to leave the house to do so. All the games are rigged, of course, and highly addictive. They have games designed to appeal to people of all ages and social backgrounds, even kids. Is that criminal? Okay, that one is a question mark. I'm just gonna put him dead in the middle. Not dead in the middle. I'm going to put him as in the middle as possible. Alright, next one. Abu al-Filani, age 35. Position, white-collar criminal. Growing up, Abu showed great promise in being a talented artist. At one point, they shifted their efforts towards forgeries of different types, from paintings to money, at which they are also highly skilled. Okay, so criminal up top. Jacob Malik, age 27, position secretary. Jacob has always aspired to be an author of fantasy novels, but they have been stuck at a dead-end secretary's job at the Omni Virtual Solutions LLC for several years. At least those expensive downtown apartment bills get paid. Okay, that is definitely not law or criminal, so they go down there. Joanna Russell, age 30, position police officer. Joanna always dreamed of being a police officer ever since they were a small child. Coming of age, they joined the academy and dedicated themselves to studying. Joanna also loves growing a wide variety of colorful plants. I believe that counts as law. So I'm going to put her up here. Adpa the First, age question mark, unemployed monstrosity. Oh, this is my fault. Alive or dead, this undead creation of Manuel Castellan usually hides either in the sewers of Cosmos City or in a cabin at the surrounding forests. They're eloquent and always interested in discussing existential philosophy, ideas surrounding life and death, for obvious reasons. Not immediately a criminal or a law person, so we'll put them down there. Justice Escrit, age 114, position retired. Justice takes the greatest pleasure in listening to wondrous bird songs every morning after waking up. They spend most of their time at home, as moving around has become burdensome, although it's still possible. They love vanilla ice cream and bananas. Okay, down here, since not obviously a criminal or a lawyer or law associated, Maria Remarque, age 24, position unemployed. Maria is a rock musician looking for their big break. For the past year, they have been living on borrowed money, composing their epic debut, a heavy rock musical about the lives of suffering rock musicians, featuring many chunky riffs. Alright, so not obviously criminal or otherwise. We'll put them, yeah, there, okay, fine, whatever. And Stuart Pendulum, age 32, position singer-songwriter. A singer-songwriter who, after years of hard work, still doesn't seem to catch a break. Their original material just doesn't grab people, which is why they became an impersonator of the famous singer Cathal Cassep, also known as the Count. Their career seems to be on an upswing. Impersonation is not a crime, so we have two people who are obviously associated with crime and the law, and one question mark, and that's only half the people. So we have this lot, which two people get obviously spared. I'm very tempted to leave the monstrosity alive, actually. You know what, I'm going to spare the monstrosity. Okay, well, I'm certain of these ones here, so let's mark them. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's double check the instructions. Any humans with a law background has to die. Any human with a criminal background has to die. Okay, I did read it correctly. No, put that down. Okay, so death there. Oops. I've got to stop closing the instructions by accident. Okay, death there. Death there. And death there. Okay, so these are very tricky choices. Okay, strictly for my own amusement, I've chosen that the monster is going to live today. It is Halloween. Today the monster lives. And who else do we spare? We have the world's oldest person. We have an aspiring author secretary. We have a singer-songwriter who is impersonating someone just to pay the bills, and a rock musician who is yet to get their big break. And simply because we are less than an hour away from the beginning of National Novel Writing Month, I choose to spare, to let the aspiring author live. Okay. We've made the choices. I'm sorry, the world's oldest person is no longer going to be holding that position. Oh, there's so many people dying today. I'm so sorry, aspiring musicians. Alright, 6 people. Everything's marked. Confirming. I honestly don't know whether the online casino guy counts as a criminal or not. So...
Ah, Grim. It looks to be a rough day out there. New recruits often falter during dark time. Yet
This
you
was a
seem to have
test.
performed adequately. How do you feel after such a day?
I was built for dark times. There was a lot to do, but I worked it all out. Bad. I did what I had to, doesn't mean I like it. There was a lot to do. There was a lot to do, but I worked it out.
Good, good. We have to do what is necessary, even if we do not fully understand why.
'Cause you're not gonna tell me.
Let us hope these days do not continue. Any idea what happened?
Don't you know what happened? You're in charge, after all. Seemed like a violent clash of some kind. People fighting people. Beats me, a day like any other. Don't really care, death is death. I know it was bad. That's all that matters. I know it was bad.
Certainly not good, no. It is as bad as it has ever been. Off you go now, Grim. Good night.
I get the feeling that that wasn't the best answer under the circumstances. Well, let's attempt some retail therapy. Oh, hey, the bar's open. Let's go to the bar. Oh my.
Hello there. I'm Sari, and I welcome you to Cerberus's Den, the finest drinking establishment this side of the void.
That's adorable.
I sure as heck haven't seen you before. You must be brand new.
I am.
Just dapper like the river Acheron. Yeah, if it screams vintage.
Thank you.
So, are you liking existence thus far?
Feels pretty good to be alive, in a sense. It sucks. I kinda hate it here. Lots of tedious paperwork so far. Feels pretty good to be alive, really.
Gotta look on the brighter side of undeath, eh? Sure you never thought this was how you'll end up.
Continue.
Sometimes these are the cards we are dealt. Okay, newbie, before we continue, I got this little game.
Oh boy.
Fresh-faced patron. It's real simple.
Are you asking me my name?
All you gotta do is answer a series of questions, and I'll craft a personalized drink inspired by what you said. It's like a quiz.
I love quizzes. I'm not sure about this. Fun and games? It's so not my style. Hey! Okay, that last one is definitely, sure, I love quizzes.
Right, the gist. I'll describe some sort of an odd situation, and you answer how you react. I usually do 4 questions and nothing else to it.
Okay.
Here we go. Prepare for question number 1. The globe has been struck with what can only be described as a zombie apocalypse.
Not again.
You're stuck at home with little supplies and no weaponry to defend yourself with. What is your strategy?
Unlock Soul Survivor mode. Find weapons, kill until I'm the last one left. Just get turned into a zombie. It's the safest and easiest way to get by. Or bleh, zombies and apocalypse scenarios are so played out. You know what? Zombies and apocalypse scenarios are played out.
Time for question number 2. You get to cook for a group of friends, but are lacking some very important ingredients without which your meal will hardly be a masterpiece. From what little you can scrounge together, which will make the best topping for a pizza?
Onions, especially if I get to shed a tear. Pineapple, 110% always and forever. Come on, you know it's pineapple. The only choice is pineapple. Stop lying to yourself. You think you'll get an option other than pineapple? Pepperoni, the boring option. You know, I do not appreciate this railroading. I choose onions.
Next up, question 3. Almost there. You behold 2 doors. One plain and old, the other forged of gold. The old one seems to imply disgrace and shame. The golden door cries of nobility and grandeur.
This sounds Shakespearean.
It's up to your brave soul to make the first choice. Which door will you enter?
The golden one, it shines of glory. The old one, of prudence and modesty. Doors are for dimwits. I'll break the window and jump out. You know what? Doors are for dimwits. No, actually no. Prudence and modesty. Or, you know what? Break the window. Doors are for dimwits.
Alright, final stretch. As I said, 4 is all anyone ever needs, right? Before you lies a table teeming with plants. You have to eat one of the plants. Your very life depends on it.
Okay.
What kind of plant would you prefer to eat?
Amorphophallus titanium, the corpse flower, an apple, cactus, mushrooms, all of them, a rose, maybe like 2 sequoias? Okay, I hate to be semantic, but mushrooms are not actually a plant. I love apples. I real life love apples. Apple.
We got it. Let me just calculate the results.
If you give me a drink made with apples and onions, I will throw it back at you.
Loud, critical, many grievances. Not difficult to figure out what mixture this has to be.
I got an achievement called Misery Guts, and I'm getting more concerned.
First up, 4 centiliters of salmiac licorice and 2 centiliters of a botanical spirit of your choice. Anything that's not gin, basically. Then, 2 deciliters of hot chocolate and topped with whipped cream. Throw in some salty licorice just as a side garnish.
Licorice and hot chocolate? That actually doesn't sound half bad. Sure. I hate to admit it, but it feels right. Are you quite sure? Or gross, it's all wrong! Sure, it feels right.
Quiz tells no lie. Okay, this one's called sauerkraut.
I wish you told me that before I chose it, but alright.
First one's on the house.
Gabas, nod to the bartender, or fine, I'll try it. Alright, nod to the bartender. You got me pegged, fine, whatever. The drink overflows with the taste of an oceanic planet in the throngs of a subcrustal collapse, a sharp and sulphurous assault on all senses. The acerbic turmoil of a quake in crystalline cave, glittering in all the colors of the spectrum, leaving you hollow on the inside. It's almost a death-changing experience. Okay, it's fairly decent. Reasonably yummy. I guess I like it. Or could have been worse. Alright, it's decent.
Heckin' understatement of the century! Now what else can I get you?
Your tip jar is pretty neat. I'd like a drink. Who else works in the office? Or I'll be going now. Your tip jar is pretty neat.
Oh, thanks. Mortimer found the original oinker on an excursion to the Shrouded Zones.
Huh.
It's a bit of a hassle, though. Keeps multiplying all the time. Take your eye off for a second and bam, tiny piglets everywhere.
That is,
Go on, take one. Just make sure you feed it with some coins once in a while.
Who else works in the office?
Heck, were I able to count and name all the folks? Likely haven't fully realized the size of this place.
Probably not. But you appear to be alive.
Reapers and all the myriad departments, the Custodian Legion, the weariless data grinders of the Calculatorium, the Abysmal Archive with its archivists. Cadaver Resources, they're just plain odd, but someone's got to deal with the internal issues.
Oh boy.
Middle management, nobody knows what they actually do. Higher management, but they don't visit us. Basically ever. Same with Fate. Many of the regular workers come by the dead mill, so keep your eyes and ears open. What else you got in mind?
You know, I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Lil Reaper.
Thank you? Well, sure. Let's talk to Gus then. The air is eerily cold, as if frozen in place, too scared to move an inch. Hi! Eep! A ghost! Or woo! Hi!
What do you want?
You can talk? I'm a new Grim, number 50. What's up? Or, sorry to bother you, I came here to meet new people. I'm a new Grim.
A fresh-faced lemon head. Exactly what I wanted to see today.
Lemonhead. Ah, you sound like you know something. Share.
Hey now, Gus, play nice.
Well, seems I'm stuck with you now. You want to ask questions or something?
Maybe. What do you do here? What can you tell me about the barkeep? Who were you before? Or, I'm good, see ya. What do you do here?
I'm the janitor. I clean up the damn mess you make.
Hey, I've been keeping my desk very neat. What do you mean? Or what mess? I haven't done anything. What mess?
Ever looked in the mirror or thought about the clientele of this place?
Eh?
Where do you think the drink goes? None of you have a stomach. Anything you consume falls through the ribcage straight to the floor.
Oh. Really? Who designed a spawn this poorly? Oh, I didn't really think about that. I was wondering why the floor is so sticky. Isn't this why you get paid? Oh, I didn't really think about that, which is the honest truth.
Yeah, you Reapers hardly ever do. Always self-absorbed.
Hi.
Or could be at least a little more considerate.
I appreciate you, or whatever, just do your job. I appreciate you.
Gee, thanks. Something else you wanted?
How do you clean things anyway, or the other questions? What can you tell me about the barkeep?
Sorry, they're hella cool.
Sure.
Why, thank you. You're nothing but a sweetheart, ain't ya?
Ah, shucks. You're the only one who truly treats Gus with respect.
You know what? Who were you before? As long as we're asking uncomfortable questions of each other.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know, what human were you? Are you the ghost of a profile I marked to death? I was just wondering about your past.
Because you thought I'm the ghost of some dead human or beast or what?
I mean, you're kind of human-like. So you're not a human? Oh, you could be the ghost of an awesome monster beast. Sure, you could be the ghost of a monster beast.
I mean, if only.
If only.
No. Ghosts aren't mere residue, a relic of humans, animals, or whatever other entities. We're just ghosts. We're beings unto ourselves.
This pulls a lot of things into question here.
I am the ghost of a ghost.
Hang on, you were a ghost and then you died? How does that work? Does that mean you're practically immortal? Or I don't want to know more. How does that work?
How do you think? I ghosted around a long while, doing my ghost business, and then one day, I died. I know what you're thinking now, and yeah, there is a ghost apartment. Northeasterly direction down on floor 133.
Huh.
Not too busy over at Geisthorn, though. Ghosts don't die that often. Comes with the territory. Something else you wanted?
Alright, how do you clean things anyway?
Simple. I float around and I possess stuff and make the stuff float into the trash bin.
That sounds so boring.
Like dust, for example. One dust particle at a time. Or the drinks. One droplet at a time.
Isn't that really tedious? Isn't that kind of inefficient? Or that's weird, but also very cool. Isn't that tedious?
Maybe a bit tedious, yeah. As if the highest management ever gave any thought to us lowly drones. We're all nameless custodians and spawns to them, literally.
Nod, I've noticed things are sloppy around the office. I get you, the management doesn't know how to run things, or I've got a name. I've got a name.
Do you really? Or are you just another number in a long line of numbers,
I've got a name.
Something else you wanted?
Bye.
Yeah,
snide being. Anyway. Yeah, my entire drink's on the floor, apparently. I'm just gonna go then. I'ma go. What about Mortimer? Hey, Mortimer.
Good patron, me ship of goods is at your service.
Sure, okay. Academic visage. A pair of sleek, stylish, modern glasses that grant a pleasant face to wear and make me look wicked smart. Way smarter than the boss, you know? The 8th Ural Resonator again, and the Tenebrous Curiosity again. Okay, still holding out for that mirror. Alright, let's get some rest. The bar is closed again. Okay, back into the drawer with you. Crow News. Department mourns as a young officer is killed in a shootout between police and criminals. Culture Mag. Fantasy debut wins prize for worst prose of the century. Oh, come on! Crow News. Aspiring musician killed at a violent shootout. Crow News. Famous forger found dead in their apartment. Possible mob hit suspected. Crow News. Online gambling developer found dead at home having choked on their morning sandwich. Oh, that is... ooh. Culture Mag. Adapa the possibly undead comes out of hiding, enrolls at Central Cosmopolis University. Modern Health. Odd corpse person inspires new ideas about tissue damage and flesh regeneration. Crow News. World oldest person finally sheds their mortal coil at the incredible age of 114. Galaxy Brain. Microscale steam mechanics could unlock access to a brand new dimension and possibly destroy the world! Okay. Alright, for Grim. Morning, Grim. Whoop. Okay, see if we can clean up the mess from yesterday. That might give you just the boost you need. Do not forget, you may leave troubles behind, but new ones always lie ahead. How is that supposed to be reassuring? Quota for the day. 2 humans have to die. Spare humans who seem helpful against the troubles. Keep vigilant. Fate. Helpful against the troubles. Well, that's the closest thing we've got here is this thing. The microscale steam mechanics could unlock access to a brand new dimension and possibly destroy the world, as well as the whole, you know, police shootout thing that happened just recently. So, let's get started. So this time we're going to use the top row for spare, just because it's easier that way. Hayden B. Blackburn, age 41, a field researcher in geology. Hayden is a geologist who is adamant in their belief that micro-scale steam mechanics are totally doable. They dream of creating a micro-scale model steam train by using this soon-to-be-available technology. I don't know. So we're gonna put them in the bottom row. Alright, we have Nzinga Egu, age 24, position student. Nzinga is a transfer student whose home country is currently in the middle of protests against the regime. They're happy about being away from it all, but worried about family and friends back home. Their school is also doing a smaller protest, which is elevating their stress levels. Honestly, I don't know what that has to do with anything, so I'm just going to put her down here. Them? Her? Them? Piggy! It oinks! Oh, it oinks when you click on it. Francois Fukushima, age 66, position scam artist. A liar and a grifter, Francois is an ex-politician who has spent many years writing books of ignorant nonsense. These words and actions caused a veritable butterfly effect of misery on a global scale, which they now profit off of. Charming, but not particularly helpful against the troubles. Okay, there we go. Titus Groan, age 33, position retired. Titus is the latest heir of a noble pedigree. As such, they managed to retire young due to all the inherited wealth. These days, they spend their time lounging listlessly in constant ennui. Well, not obviously helpful against the troubles either. Nadhir Scarland, age 58, position state official. Nadhir is the embodiment of a ruthless politician, willing to do anything to gain and maintain power, be it treachery, deception, and even murder. They're willing to manipulate and destroy even those they would consider friends. Huh. And Achak Nord, age 30, position lumberjack. Achak co-owns a logging company where they work as a lumberjack. Although they comply with environmental regulations on paper, they occasionally clear protected habitats by mistake, destroying homes of thousands of endangered birds. Also not obviously helpful for the troubles to come. Well, I'm going to put the student up top because yeah, they're a student. They're maybe not quite politically as active as they should be considering situation, but a student is more likely to help? Question mark? A scam artist is not going to help. Lounging around in ennui and doesn't seem particularly helpful. You know what? Let's put the geology field researcher who dreams of working with micro steam technology up here as well. Cutthroat state official, scam artist, listlessly lounging in ennui, and a lumberjack who accidentally clears protected habitats. You know what? He's not doing any harm. Let's take the lounging and ennui guy and put him up in the save portion. So we have the lumberjack who clears what he shouldn't, a scam artist who is actively making the world a worse place. Okay, yeah, and the ruthless politician who is willing to step on anyone. All three of these people could be said to be making the world a worse place. None of these people are like actively making it better, but you know what? Let's spare the ruthlessness. So these two, the lumberjack and the scam artist. We'll put them over there, and we'll get to the living now. Okay, live. 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 Alright, off everything goes. Up to confer with the boss to see if I did good.
Welcome, Grim. It is the end of the week. Your performance review draws near. How do you think you have been doing?
Crushing it. Profiles come in, I send them out. Clockwork. Dismal. I hate everything about this job. I think I've managed to follow the rules. Or I'm just surprised I've made it this far. I think I've managed to follow the rules.
Interesting. Yes, your answer has been recorded for the psych eval. Now then, before the assessment, let us look over your daily conduct. I see the required profiles are all here.
They are.
Excellent. This bodes well for the evaluation. I guess it is time to get started.
Wait, I wanted to ask about today. Or, I'm ready, let's do it. I wanted to ask about today, actually.
Yes? What about today?
Yesterday went really bad. What about today? Did I make a difference? Did we help? Did I make a difference?
Oh, absolutely. Things are already looking up.
Oh, That's good.
Do not worry about it. Fixing the world is a slow process. So, keep at it. As long as you follow the rules, it will all get better.
Somehow, while the words are reassuring, the tone of voice that they're said in is not.
Now, where did I put those papers? Ah, here we go. Right. Looking at these stats, the numbers say your conduct over the 7 days has been most excellent. I am, sincerely, surprised and pleased by your display of loyalty.
You're welcome.
So much so that the office has deemed you fit for a raise.
A raise! Even more money? Yes. Thank you. I don't really do this for the money, you know. Thank you.
Oh, do not thank me, Grim. We are just getting started.
Oh, I know.
Speaking of, the raise also comes with a prize. The office is proud to present you with an award of excellence. Display it proudly on your workstation.
I will? Dude, if you were gonna do that, just don't do anything at all.
Do not let this cloud your judgment. You still have much to learn and many rules to follow.
This has been hard. Does it get easier? More rules? Piece of cake. Or I like ice cream. More rules?
One gets used to them, if in the right mindset. Fret not.
I'll try not to.
As such, your 7-day evaluation period has concluded. You have passed.
Yay!
That is all. Until tomorrow, Grim.
Thank you. Oh, a whole 100 coin raise. Sure, you know what? First let's go to the store.
Need ye cures for ailments or a trinket to ward off a curse?
Not last I checked, but thank you. The Calavera clothing. Only a noble craftsman can craft an unique of this caliber. Exquisite, tasty. No one can deny I'd have the sweetest possible visage if I wore this. No. The Threnody again, and the Infernal Illuminator again. Still no mirror. Thank you, bye. Let me in the library. What is that? Barkeep, when did you get this plant? What are you doing here, odd plant? Or ... What are you doing here, odd plant?
What do you think? Having a nice, relaxing drink?
Oh my, it's somebody from the plant department. Holy hell, a talking plant. What in the... Hang on, are you from the plant department? Hang on, are you from the plant department?
Who told you about the plant department?
Am I not supposed to know about the plant department? I've heard rumors. Or your plant, so I assumed. Am I not supposed to know?
No one is supposed to know about the plant department.
Then maybe you shouldn't look like that when you leave the office.
Forget what you heard, Sonny. No such thing, anyway.
No such thing, but I hoped. Really? I don't believe you. Come on, you can tell me. I don't believe you.
Not gonna lose any sleep over that, Sonny.
Come on, you can tell me.
Ain't nothing to tell.
Really?
deny everything.
Come on, tell me. Don't be such a killjoy. Or fine, I didn't want to know anyway. Come on.
Stop bothering an old plan, why don't you?
Seriously, you can trust me.
Can we? Can we really?
I can keep a secret. You have to tell me. Or fine, I didn't want to know anyway. I can keep a secret.
You're not gonna leave us alone otherwise?
Haha!
Sonny, it's just a regular department. Not even that big, but it's very busy.
That's it? Why is it busy? Or why didn't you say so to begin with? Why is it busy?
What do you think? It's a department for managing plant life. There are a lot of plants. A lot. More than humans. Plants everywhere.
True. Why didn't you say so to begin with? And you were pulling my leg before, right? Why didn't you say so to begin with?
We're real tired of folks asking about the plant department.
Ah,
Is why we visit the den on Sundays. Lowers the chance of bothersome busybodies with annoying questions.
ha!
Who even gave you the idea the department is anything interesting?
Fate? I don't know. It was, some other spawn. Or doesn't the Mystery Act just make you more compelling to people? You know what? Doesn't the Mystery Act just make you more compelling?
Might be. Can't help it though. There's theater in my xylem.
Fair.
Anything else? Seeing as we're now deep in the soil of inquiry.
So, what's your name?
Me? I'm Herbert.
See? Name! Not spawn number 50.
You know, sort of like a herb, Bert. A herb.
You know what? Fair. Pleased to meet you. Who were you before you became a plant reaper? Or, yeah, I get it. Or, that's supposed to be a joke? Pleased to meet you.
Don't forget the green fella holding me up. That's my pal, Tim. Tim's a real hoot.
You know, I should have figured that it was two different entities. But, yeah.
Say hello, Tim. Hello, Tim.
Who's Tim? Is there really nothing unusual at the plant department? Or, right, I'll catch you later. Is there really nothing unusual there?
Okay, we see you got a keen mind, so we'll let you in on a secret. But you didn't hear this from us. Gotta promise you won't spill a bean.
I promise not a word, or I can't promise anything. You know what? I promise. Not a word. Just me and the rest of the internet we'll keep it to ourselves.
If at some point you break your word, beware. Our Rhizo reaches far and wide, right into your room if need be.
That is a very palpable threat, thank you.
And these roots can rip the skull off a skeleton in an instant. Snap!
Seriously? Damn, that's harsh. Or, yeah, just tell me the secret. Wow, that's harsh.
A fitting punishment for the wicked. Snap, I say.
Okay.
So listen closely.
Oh, I'm listening.
We're secretly developing technologies that would make all plant matter in the world toxic to humanity.
That seems like a bad plan. Really? Are you just messing with me, or haha, real funny? Are you just messing with me?
No, I super serious.
And this whole root snapping bones thing? Or great, just great. Great, just great.
I know.
I'm not going to ask who Tim is, because I think I should more be asking what Tim is, so right, I'll catch you later. Bye.
Not in this lifetime, Sonny.
Oh, you never know. You know what?
Hey, pleased to see you again.
Hi.
Ain't much happening here today. It's a slow Sunday. Anything I can get you?
What's the deal with the plant?
You mean my favorite pot chock full of plant department goodness? They usually drop it on Sundays due to an aversion of people, which is funny because they're really quite sociable. Personally, I love their quirky sense of humor.
Honestly, I think it's you.
Personally, I love their quirky sense of humor. What else is there to say?
I'd like a drink.
Sure, what's your poison?
The usual gin and tariff, tax on the beach, Bloody Gary, corpse reviver, heat death of the universe iced coffee, milk please, or nothing thanks. You know what? Heat death of the universe iced coffee, please.
Guaranteed to keep you energized until the last ever star in the universe blinks out of existence.
Drink it alone, or gubas, wave your drink at Herbert and Tim. You know what? Wave my drink. The sweet and icy overtones of the mixture block out the bitter, earthy taste of coffee. Be honest, coffee really does taste like dirt. I can't believe you made those words come out of my mouth. Coffee does not taste like dirt. Coffee tastes like acid. And coffee. Yet, as the frozen cubes clink against your teeth, the whole endeavor feels distinguished and hip at the same time, just like the end of the universe. You know what? I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Lil Reaper.
Please stop calling me that. I decline to talk to Gus again. And apparently Gus declines to talk to me. Alright. I'm hearing the pig oinking and I have concerns. Personal quarters. Best newcomer presented to Grim Reaper for your contributions to the killings of many humans. I'll just... right there. Excellent, okay. Phone. Polito, beware, for Scarland, resolutely climbing the political ladder, the presidential office might not be far. Modern Health. Scarland promises increase in funding of medical budgets and pharmaceutical research. It was a good thing! Crow News. Logging company owner dies of sudden heart failure, leaves entire fortune to leading cancer fund. Science Today. Can you have a heart attack due to massive guilt? We have the research. Crow News. Student protest gets out of hand, severe property damage racking up. Oops. Polito. Politicians attempt to introduce bill that bans small gatherings and protests. Crow News. Popular political commentator dies of a heart attack. Oops? Question mark? Alright, open me. Morning, Grim. A whole week already? My, the time flies. Well, more tasks straight ahead. I think we are making a difference, so let us continue with what we are doing. Quota for the day. 3 humans have to die. Spare any humans aged between 35 and 60, if possible. Okay, what I'm going to do is put the marker in the open drawer for the moment and just leave it right there. And there we go. Who have we got? And we are looking for people between 35 and 60, which we will put on the top as a spare pile today. And here's one right here. Stellan de Jong, age 40, position programmer. Stellan enjoys hiking, woodworking, and collecting picture frames with stock photos. They still kind of enjoy programming, but find it hard to stay up with all the latest trends. They've 7 children with 5 different people and lead a local non-profit trash cleanup organization. They don't seem like a terrible person, but they're definitely between 35 and 40. Giovanni Collier, age 26, office drone. Giovanni didn't expect to spend as much time with a printer, scanner, copier as they do. It's old, slow, and unreliable. They dream of one day destroying the printer, scanner, copier with a baseball bat. Meanwhile, they've set up a penny skimming program inside their company computer network. Uh-huh. Younger than 35, and so they go in the bottom row, which is going to exist like right here for the time being. Alright, Bart Green, age 54, position banker. Bart is a wealthy banker, married with 2 kids. They had an affair with the brother of their spouse, but the partner found out and took off with the kids. Then the brother committed suicide, and Bart, in sorrow, moved to a huge countryside mansion where they wait alone to meet their lover again. Weird, but between 35 and 60. Okay. Masashige Oni Lanzo, age 66, position engineer musician. Part-time scholar, part-time engineer, and part-time musician who delights in building their own musical instruments out of scrap and spare parts. Alright, over 60, so they go in the bottom row. Mercury St. Yanas, age 53, position motivational speaker. Nature was not stingy when it came to granting charisma unto Mercury. A true silver tongue, this smooth talker could convince anyone to do almost anything. As such, they found their calling in being a motivational speaker. Recently, they've included proselytizing in their oeuvre. Okay, 53, so over 35 and under 60, so they go in the top row. And yeah, I don't have enough in the bottom row. So one of the top row people has to switch. And you know what? Let's give a coin to the piggy. Thank you. There you go. Good piggy. Okay, he's the charisma who has started preaching. He's the cheater who's just... He's the one who cheated on their spouse with their spouse's sibling. And he's a programmer with a lot of children. You know what? He wants to. So I hate to approve of suicide or anything, but what is this game doing to me? Well, let's start with this. We'll start with the definite answers. Ugh. Okay, so we have the cheater living alone, the guy with a massive number of children who runs a trash pickup and programs, and a motivational speaker with a lot of charisma. Yeah, I'm still gonna go with the cheater. I have very strong feelings about cheating, quite honestly. Alright, that's 3. And then you get to live. And you get to live. And everything goes off. Okay. I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to go shopping, and from there I am going to call it a night because it is past midnight and I should start working on my nano project. Alright, Fate.
Grim. Ah, yes, there you are. Good, good. Okay, now, listen up. Great work today. You fulfilled your tasks adequately and all that. However, an emergency has occurred which requires my utmost attention, and I must depart for a couple of days.
Oh my. What kind of an emergency? So who will I report to at the end of the day? Or, okay. What kind of emergency?
Okay, listen up and keep this to yourself.
Oh.
Some philosophers and researchers are attempting to set up a utopian community for the betterment of humanity.
Ooh.
I must investigate their strategies for any flaws.
Oh.
Anyway, while I am gone, another will be in charge.
Oh, who? Please tell me it's the cat.
Even though you passed the evaluation, I cannot leave you without any supervision. You will have more freedom, sure, but it is not limitless.
Oh my.
Therefore, you will have to continue your daily reports as usual. I will be informed of your progress.
Who will I report to? I'm fine with that, business as usual. Or, I don't know, will it really be the same? Who will I report to?
Why, you are already acquainted. It will be Lady Portington, of course.
It is the cat! Okay. Alright, let's see if a mirror has showed up here.
I know what you're thinking. I do provide ancient powerful widgets.
Okay, a fancy suit, bow tie edition. This suit would make me look sharp and professional, while the bow tie adds a subtle flavor of levity, fit for the funeral of clowns. And the Aethial Resonator, which is basically the radio, and the Infernal Illuminator. Yeah, fine. Thank you. Alright. Whoop! Oh, come on. Aha! Bedtime. End the day. Alright. And this is where I am going to call it. Because it is getting late here. Hopefully this saves my progress. I'm honestly not sure. I hope you don't have to play through the whole game in one sitting. That would be very long. So, that was Death and Taxes, and I killed a fellow streamer. I spared another fellow streamer. I killed a lot of people. I marked a lot of people for death, but no, I can't say I didn't kill any more than I had to, because I did accidentally mark somebody for death who was not supposed to die. So, yeah, I messed up. I killed too many people. Still, that was fun, and for a Halloween stream, I think it was very on message. So I am definitely not complaining. And I hope that all of you had a good night with this too. And I will be returning again on Wednesday, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where unfortunately the people that I would normally be playing with on Wednesday are also participants in NaNoWriMo, so I will be playing a solo game on Wednesday. I will be playing City Skylines. I'll be starting a brand new city and seeing just how much of it I can get built over the Wednesdays that are coming in November here. So we shall see on that front. We'll see how far that gets. And then on Thursday, I will be back again at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time to play Darkest Dungeon for Try Not to Die Thursday. This will be the last time that I'm playing Darkest Dungeon for a while, because after that I will be switching to Oxygen Not Included for the rest of November and probably December as well. Depending on how things go and whether or not I have to restart the colony or anything like that. But Darkest Dungeon, next Thursday, the last one for a while. And then, next Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Solasta will return, as it is my usual Sunday game at the moment, where I will be continuing to find more jewels for the crown that I shouldn't have touched. That's the best way that I can put it. I should not have touched that artifact, oh my goodness. But in any case. So, that y'all is the upcoming week, and I hope to see you all there. And I hope that you had a great Halloween night, and that your November goes well, since it is, well, for those who are on the East Coast as I am, it's already November. And for anyone else who is also participating in National Novel Writing Month as I am, I wish you many, many words, and I hope you have a great night. Good night!